text message, his history of violence, and I'm sure that you heard during the briefing that Detective Bueller and Kopcha had interviewed him before, and he had jumped up and pounded the table after he was accused of killing his son, right? Okay, so you knew all that going in.
Yes.
Even with all that information, you did not go back and request or ask for additional help, correct?
No, that's why I come this hand to the wall, hoping it will be no.
Okay, and that is an unusual circumstance for you, that you would cuff somebody to a wall, correct? So this had to be one of the most violent individuals that you ever encountered to actually handcuff somebody to a wall.
I wouldn't say more violent,
Okay,
but one of
okay. So you go in there keenly aware of the fact that this guy has a violent history, that in a prior interrogation, after being accused of killing his son, he jumped up and slammed his hands on the table. You decided that it was necessary to cuff him.
He's already answered for it.
Okay. But then you're talking about you forgot that you had cuffed him, even though this was such an unusual event. And the only time you remember that you actually cuffed him is when Lieutenant Caballero comes in and you're looking for cuffs.
Right.
Now, in this situation where you have such a dangerous individual that's handcuffed to the wall, why would you get up from the table and actually move closer to him when you're about to accuse him of killing his son, when you know from the prior briefing that he had jumped up, pounded the table, when Detectives Kopka and Miller asked him that same question? Aren't you putting yourself in the zone of danger?
Am I putting myself in the zone of danger?
The question ain't hard, stupid.
When I swore oath to that badge, sir, I put myself in danger every day, on and off duty. So yes, I put myself in danger.
And you actually put yourself in a closer position of danger with this very violent individual when you stood up, walked around the table, and got closer to him, correct?
Absolutely. And I also sat across Walter Ellis, the serial killer who killed 21 people. I was within 3 inches of his face. Yeah, I put myself in danger.
And you're doing that so you can get control of him, right?
I did it to gain a truthful confession. To sit there with this man who just killed his son in hopes of gaining a confession.
So you move closer to him, you stand up over him, and you accuse him of killing his son when you know that's going to get a reaction, right?
Do I know it's going to get a reaction? Yes.
Okay. And you did that on purpose.
Sometimes he does a spontaneous reaction, yes.
Okay. But you did that on purpose, didn't you, to get that spontaneous reaction?
Sure. It's part of the interrogation technique.
You knew his trigger, you used it, right?
I wouldn't say I knew his trigger.
You were briefed on this. You were briefed about the fact that he gets upset, he jumps up and slams the table when he's accused of killing his son.
Yes.
Okay, so you used that trigger to get him going.
Right.
Now, you indicated during your testimony that at no time did you feel Ron Lowe was attempting to comply with your orders, correct?
That is correct.
Did you see his hands out to his side?
No.
Didn't
Did
even
you
look.
see him cowering and covering his head when you were hitting him?
I saw him bent down at some point, but did you see in the video that he was attempting to get up? Did you see?
My
the
question
muscle
to you,
pressure?
I'm not answering questions here. My job is to ask you questions and you're to answer.
Absolutely.
Did you see him cowering and covering his head when you were attempting to hit him and hitting him?
I saw his arms flailing up and down, sir, so
You didn't see him take his arms, cover his head, and pull his head toward his knees?
not any cowering manner. No.
Okay. You didn't see that at any point in time during your interview? No.
This is cumulative, he's asked him 4 times now.
Yes.
Let's finish this question, let's be done with that.
Your testimony is you didn't see that at any time during your interview during that first videotape, correct?
I didn't see an act of cowering, no.
Okay. Isn't it your job as a detective to be aware of your surroundings, to be able to change tactics, to take in the information that's there, assess it, and deal with and
We got 6 questions, not many.
Dude.
Why don't you break that down and be a little more focused?
Isn't your job as a detective to be aware of what's happening around you
In what situation?
in any situation?
For the most part, yes.
And aren't you supposed to take in that information as it changes and reassess what you are supposed to do?
Yes.
But you didn't see Mr. Love holding his hands out, correct?
No, for the most part, they were over here to my sides.
And you didn't see him covering his head with his hands, correct?
It's already
Yeah,
been
that's,
asked.
That's fine. Did you hear him say, "Stop hitting me, stop hitting me"?
I heard him at one point say, stop. Yes.
Okay, but you didn't hear him say, "Stop hitting me, stop hitting me" repeatedly? I read your trial testimony and it indicates that you never considered disengaging, correct?
No, sir, I did not.
You kept on going forward, correct? Because it was your opinion that Mr. Love was resisting the entire first interview, correct?
Correct.
The second interview, where you walked in first.
Just to be clear, it's the second video, not an interview. I don't think it's in the
That's fine. The second video,
Second video, we don't know what we're talking about.
when you walked in first. Did you ever consider the safety of the fellow detectives that were following you in the circumstances?
As far as what?
You had just gotten into a physical altercation with Mr. Love, where you struck him on a number of occasions and kneed him twice, correct?
I won't say one knee, but yes.
Okay.
I don't know if I can't count.
And prior to the detectives coming, he was shouting at you that he wanted to kill you because you had gotten into an altercation with him, correct?
Yes.
In fact, you indicated not only was he shouting at you to take off the handcuffs and come fight him, you said he made threats against your family. But you still allowed these detectives to go in there with you, even though you were the object of Mr. Love's anger, correct?
To say that I allowed them in there, it's not. Okay, we'll say yes.
So you never considered the safety of those other individuals. You inserted yourself into the situation even though this gentleman was angry at you and
Hold
you
on.
alone.
Let's one question, please.
So, on the question, so I think the first question was whether you consider the safety of the other individuals. Is that fair?
Well,
Can we get an answer to that?
I think it's a question that flows. What I'm saying is, did you ever consider the safety of these individuals after he had gotten involved in an altercation with this individual and this individual was threatening his life?
Okay, can we get a yes, no answer to that question?
Yes, I consider the officer safety, absolutely.
If you considered the officer safety, why did you go in there?
That's why I went in, sir.
Wouldn't you be outside the room, give those officers a chance to actually calm you down because you were the focus of his anger?
Well, to say those officers is not quite correct. Detective Jacks was the only detective at that moment coming into the room with me, per se. Detective Paget, I don't know where he came from. He was not in my line of sight. He may have been let into the hall. So Detective Jacks, in my mind, was coming into that room alone. Yes, I considered the safety. I went in.